Hey guys, how's it going? Okay, bear with me. This is my first time recording my podcast on video. I just thought I'd share with you guys on Facebook in case you want to see me. So bear with me because it's a bit distracting seeing my face, but I love watching my favorite people. So I thought if I'm your favorite person, you would want to hear me and see me. Okay, so I'm so excited because I have a really good, useful list for you today that really is helpful for me. And I love these lists. I was just listening to one of the lists by Rachel Hollis, and she gave me 15 things that help her in her life. And today I came up with a list of things that help me when I'm struggling. And I love, love, love all these things. They really help me. I do them almost automatically now. And I have picked up a lot of things along the way in my life from lists like these from other people. So that's why I'm sharing with you, because they're just such small things can make a big difference. So that's why I'm going to share with you. But before I do that, I just want to share my oldest is turning 12 this week. And he asked to go to this restaurant that we've been a couple times to eat oysters. Their dad loves oysters, and so my boys are now all like really love oysters. So I'm gonna go celebrate. I got him a couple of things that he asked for, and it's just exciting now that they're getting bigger, that we can just do like almost grown-up things with them. And the other thing that happened, by the way, was that I accidentally signed him up for competitive hockey instead of recreational. That just means a bigger time commitment. And by the way, thankfully he was super happy about it, but could have gone really badly. So good thing he loves hockey. So I just want to share those two things with you. That's what's happening in my life. And I'm happy about them, about these things. But along those things as well, I've been struggling kind of coming back to myself after the whole summer with the kids going back to school. I have completely lost all of myself. It feels like. And so I've been kind of coming back to myself slowly. So I put together this list and I'm going to share it with you. Okay. So if you're struggling, just life feels like it's struggling. Here's 15 things. I wrote down 15 things, and some of them are small, some are big. Okay. So the first one I wrote down is walk. I love walking. For you, it may be like one of my friends, she loves going to her garden and gardening and just sitting in her garden. The other one loves swimming. She just loves to go for swims all the time. And so whatever is your thing that you just naturally do when you are not feeling well, like I just find that I love walks always, all the time. So, but especially when I'm struggling. But those walks are slower. So I'm kind of like an old person, but slowly walking, looking in the leaves, smells. I love that. So those are, I feel like they're self-explanatory why they would feel good, but so I'm just gonna say walk, okay? Because you would understand why. Because it's just nature, therapeutic, slow, just movement. Movement feels good, right? So do my makeup and hair and dress in something that feels pretty. Makeup and hair, those two things, even if I just wear something that's more sporty, that it's not so pretty, but like sporty, comfortable, still the makeup and hair make a big difference for me. I feel so much more put together. I feel like I'm not like on the, like I didn't hit the rock bottom. It just feels like it's lifting me up. I feel good. I feel better. Okay. So this is the list of things that make you feel better. So walk, do my hair, makeup, and get dressed. And sometimes I don't do that right away, but that I know that it's not like I should do it, but I know I will feel good. So I do it. Talk to a friend. I mean, you've heard that a gazillion times, have a support network, blah, 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 talk to your friends. But how I want to present to you to say that is that just vent. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be a friend. It doesn't have to be even anyone. If you don't have someone at that moment, you can simply just vent to the paper, just dump everything out. Sometimes I open up an empty email to nobody. And because typing is faster, I type everything up, vent, and I feel better. Sometimes when I'm somewhere out, I do it on the phone. Sometimes if you have a friend, talk to a friend. I mean, if you have a coach friend, like I have a bunch of coach friends, it's even better, because then they can see, I can ask them, okay, can you just be a friend or can you be a coach? And they can give me that perspective that I need. And as a coach, they can give me that perspective so much easier than a friend, because a friend always has an agenda. They want you to feel better, and they are not thinking in kind of more neutral ways. They're more thinking like, you know what, this is my friend. I'm going to solve their problem. I'm going to make them feel better, or I'm going to complain with them and bitch with them and just, you know, commiserate. So a coach friend is even better, because you kind of get the benefit of two brains there. So that's talk to a friend. That's number 3. Number 4, clean your kitchen and living room. That took me a few years to like notice, to realize that that feels good. But now, of course, like if this is something that you're not doing as much, or I mean, if you've always done it and you've always have it clean, I mean, obviously, you know the benefit. But for someone like me, who I have a lot of kids, it gets messy all the time. And sometimes I'm too tired to clean it up. Like this morning, I woke up and it was like the kitchen was semi of a mess. So still, it's totally fine. But I know that, you know, doing that, 2 things. Cleaning it up is therapeutic in its own. Because as I'm cleaning up, I'm also feel like I'm cleaning up my brain. Because my brain is cluttered with all the clutter that I'm seeing around the kitchen. And so as I'm cleaning, I start feeling better in my head. I start feeling better in my body. I'm like, this feels amazing. It looks clean. There's no extra stuff, everything in its place. I love it, right? So that's why clean your kitchen, clean living room. I do it. And okay, so this next one actually ties into this one a bit. Number 5, do nothing first. So when you're struggling, when I'm struggling, so I give myself permission to do nothing first, because I feel like I'm a little whiny baby who needs to be comforted and needs to, before doing any jobs, I want to do the fun stuff. I want to do nothing. I don't want to do any jobs. So I then give myself permission. Actually, I have these 2 on different points. So first of all, do nothing first. And sometimes I do that before I clean up the kitchen. I know, like theoretically, logically, I would enjoy it, the space. Like if I'm in my living room, I would enjoy it more if it's clean. But what I want first is to do nothing, because I've already done a big shift with the kids in the morning. I've already done a walk. I've already driven home. Like I've already done a lot. And when I'm struggling, I don't want to do more jobs. I don't want to do the cleaning. I don't want to tidy up. So it takes habit. It takes practice to give yourself permission to actually enjoy, relax, and be doing nothing in a messy living room. Like that takes skill, but I want you to try it out, because the 2 things, you know, you'll clean it up, no problem. And by the time that you've done nothing, like by the end of doing nothing, you are going to want to clean it up. You will have the desire, instead of forcing yourself to clean it up first and then enjoy doing nothing. It's actually more enjoyable, because you've sat in it for an hour or so, or however long. It's annoyed you even more. And then you're like, you know what? I actually really want to clean it up. And then it feels even better. So, so I got the rest, like, so I wrote down do nothing or rest. It depends on what you want to do. Sometimes I read a book. Sometimes I say I'm going to watch TV. And here's my logic for the TV. I have a lot of kids to put to bed in the evening, and I have an afternoon shift, like 3 o'clock. I have to drive, I have to pick them up, dinner, activities, sports, homework, all the things. And then by the time I put them all to bed, I'm so tired, I'm going to bed. And so I'm thinking, you know, I want to watch the show that I love, And since I want to sleep early at 9 o'clock after I put them all to bed, I'm gonna do nothing now. My do nothing is watch my favorite show, whatever that show is at the time. And that feels extremely wrong and bad. And like watching daytime TV feels so unproductive and feels like you shouldn't be doing it. I shouldn't even be telling you this, but there's such a, that's why you have to give yourself permission to do it, because it feels so wrong. But once you are kind of give yourself that freedom first, then you will be a lot more likely to get the other jobs done later, and you'll be happier doing them. Right? Does that make sense? It's like a kid. Like with kids, we always say, do your jobs first, then do the fun part. But for me, well, I guess I've already done the morning shift, right? So you've done the morning shift, and I have to take care of myself. So if I don't take care of myself, I'll just be a lot more resentful later, because I would have given myself no breaks and no free time, no do nothing time. So that's why this is extremely important. Like this doing nothing time. If you're a stay-at-home mom, this, what I'm describing, this would apply to you, what I'm describing. If you're a working mom, that might mean for you something different. Like when you come home, you might say, I'm going to sit on the couch for 10 minutes before I start cooking dinner, before I start driving you somewhere, right? Of course, if you can, if you have to run right away. But from having talked to working moms who work outside the home, there is an opportunity when you come home, instead of going straight to clean up the kitchen, instead of going straight to cooking dinner, you do have that option of sitting on the couch for however many minutes. It feels incredible. You should totally do it. So whatever your schedule, I'm sure you can find that do nothing time. And sometimes when I haven't had a chance to do nothing time, I do take it out of my sleep, because that rebellious part of me does want it. Okay. And then I'll tell myself, okay, I'll catch up on sleep later. So you have to play around with it. You have to see how it works for you. I'm listing all these things, and of course, adjust them. Like these are all like super custom things that I have figured out for me. For you, you will have to kind of keep them in mind and try them out, and then also experiment, right? And make them work for you. So don't take everything like as a should to do thing, but just take it as a kind of a reminder in your head for when you're struggling. Hearing this list, you will then remember, oh, I remember that this and this. I remember Natalia said that. Then maybe I'll try it, right? It does help. For me, it has helped. Then actually this next point, number 6, I wrote down, this one is one of my favorite things, is listening to 2 different people. So one is Abraham, which you heard me talk about on my podcast many times. So and Abraham is a spirit who talks through Esther. Esther is a woman. So when you Google Abraham, I'll put links in the show notes, you will then see that it's a woman, Esther. And Abraham, listening to Abraham helps a lot in terms of feeling better, because Abraham explains a lot of how you can do that for many different examples. And it just feels better to think about feeling better, and then getting ideas about what you could feel better about. When you're struggling, sometimes you forget to stop thinking about your problems. So listening to Abraham helps me remember, oh, okay, I just have to start thinking about a solution, or I have to start thinking, maybe I can think of something that I'm enjoying today, like a walk I'm on right now, or what else am I enjoying? Like listening to Abraham helps me change perspective and find a better direction of my energy. And then it starts to build on itself, and I feel better with that momentum. So that one I would highly, highly, highly recommend. And like that one is for sure, try it out. It might feel a little preachy at first because of the way it sounds, but it's super helpful. The other one is Louise Hay. She is the queen of loving yourself, talking lovingly to yourself. Listening to her sometimes when I'm really low helps a lot. When I'm not so low and I'm more wanting to be more productive, I listen to Abraham. But when I'm really low, Louise Hay kind of digs me out of that hole. So I highly recommend Googling anything by her, Louise Hay. Any of her original talks will really help you. Talk nicer to yourself, stop judging yourself, stop feeling shame, and stop feeling bad about feeling bad. So those two things are like must do. Number 7, coffee, favorite food. I mean, that's just, I think, will make everyone feel better. Not coffee. If you love coffee, it'll make you feel good. But favorite food, just like comfort yourself, give yourself something you love. And I mean, don't feel guilty about having it, but just give yourself permission to comfort yourself. So that's number 7. Number 8, accomplish 1 or 2 things. So I wrote this down, and I would suggest doing that one. Like, that one only works for me after I've done nothing. I'm not going to do 1 or 2 things before I do nothing. Right? If I'm struggling, I'm like, no, F this. I'm going to have my time of doing nothing. And then, so this is one like later down the road, you're like, okay, maybe I'll schedule something for someone, or maybe I will, clean this up, right? Like, after I've done nothing, I'm going to tidy up the space and prep a snack, right? Anything, pick something small, and that you have to do it. Your mom, you're going to have to do a million things. So, but accomplishing those 2 small things makes me feel better. And then it takes me to number 9. And I love this one, and I do it a lot, is actually making a list of all the things you've already done today. So sometimes halfway through the day or in the morning, I sit down and I make a list of all the things I've done today, like drop off kids at school, walk, breakfast, lunches, call my husband. I call him once in the morning. We have a little chat, schedule an appointment. What else? And then I write down all the things I still have to do, like tidy up, rest. I've talked about that before, I think, on previous podcasts, resting, and then I write down do nothing. Rest and do nothing in my head is the same thing. Lunch, and like small things like that, and then I cross them off, and it feels extremely good, because then you feel like you actually are doing something with your day. Because when you're struggling, it's so easy for my mind, your mind probably too, to say, oh, you haven't done anything today. You need to get so much stuff done. You need to go run a business. You need to prep dinner. You need to schedule a holiday. You need to be so productive. But when you're struggling, all you want to do is nothing. That's me. Okay. And so this is kind of like tricking your brain to show the brain that, hey, I'm actually getting stuff done, and I'm taking care of myself, and I can feel good about, look at all these things that I'm accomplishing, like, right? So I love making lists and crossing things off. So number 10, giving yourself permission to do nothing. So remember how I talked about doing nothing? A whole other point is giving yourself permission to do that, because sometimes we forget to do that. I forget, like, remember I was saying, like, how I forgot myself. I forgot to give myself permission to do nothing. And even when I started doing nothing, I felt like it was wrong. So if you're doing nothing and you feel bad about it, it's not going to be that effective. So give yourself permission and say, I'm just going to do it for an hour, right? I have time, blah, 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 blah. Like, you can negotiate with yourself, right? If you have come home from work and you have all these things to do, you can still negotiate a little bit of time to transition for yourself, but you have to do that ahead of time. You have to schedule it ahead of time. You have to even remind yourself to do that ahead of time, because sometimes you intend to do that, you come home, and then sure enough, the kids pull you away and you start doing that something for them, right? So you can still always come back and sit on the couch for 10 minutes, put your legs up, and just say, mommy's tired and I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to do nothing. I know I've talked to working moms. It's extremely hard. I don't know how you guys do it. I have a choice of running my own business and spending as much time as I need to on my kids and my family, who are my first priority right now. Working moms, it takes a lot more, I think, strategic thinking about when you will do your nothing time, but it's still totally possible. Okay, number 11, I love this one, is showering. So shower is one of my favorite things in feeling better. And I love doing it around 4, 5, 6 p.m. And it just feels like you're washing your whole day off. You feel rejuvenated, you feel fresh, you feel like you've had a break, and you can now, and it's like a nice transition into the evening shift. If I can squeeze it in, sometimes if I like get the dinner going, I have a shower. And you know what? I timed my shower and it was only 8 minutes. Okay, sure, I'll have maybe a few more minutes for drying off and cream and getting dressed, but it doesn't take that long. And I love showers. So it's not going to take you half hour. It doesn't have to, right? So it doesn't have to be such a long production, but it does make a big difference for me in my evening. I love it so much. Actually, I just remembered that last year during the school year, I figured a whole system where I would put 2 kids to bed. And after putting first 2 kids to bed, I would then have my shower, get in my cozy pajamas, get in my really nice warm sweater, and then I would go and put the older kids to bed. And that worked really well for me because it gave me a break. And then I was kind of replenished and I wanted to go see the big boys. And now this new year started and I'm going 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And I by the 4th kid, I don't want to see anyone. So thankfully, my friend reminded me of that. And I thought, oh, right, that's why I used to do that, because like I want to see my kids. I haven't seen them all day, right? So, and they want to tell me about their day. So that kind of strategic placement of the shower allows me to be there for them, number one, but also enjoy it and not be an angry mom. So that shower strategically placed in your day can be such a great way to make yourself feel better. My boys use it a lot when they're all same thing at the end of the day. Sometimes straight after school, they go straight to shower because it feels so good. I know a lot of people shower in the morning. Great, keep showering in the morning, but try it out at the end of the day. It is therapeutic. I love it so much. Okay. Then the number 12 I wrote down, which I already told you about, was the comfy clothing. Super comfy. Take off your bra, cute, like not sexy, but sexy, like cute pajamas that you feel pretty in, you feel sexy in, or just cute, and just comfy clothing, something comfortable, no bra, after the shower. This is how I do it, right? I get cute and comfy and cozy, and now I feel like I've taken care of myself. I've given myself comfort. I've already done a lot of things in the day, so I want some comfort. So that comforts me. That makes me feel taken care of, and it takes care of my body, which is tired. So I love that combination of the shower and the comfy, soft sweater. And then my kids love it because they hug me and I'm like soft and fuzzy, and it's so cute. So warm tea, I wrote down number 13. Warm tea is, for me, I strategically place it after dinner because, again, for the desire for comfort. It's so easy for me to go to food for comfort, but I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be like have the extra weight. And I don't need the energy, right? I don't need the carbs. So after I brush my teeth, that's the other thing. I brush my teeth right after I eat dinner so that I'm not so tempted to go eat because it's a good reason, good thinking for me that, oh, I already brushed my teeth, it's fine. But warm tea, any herbal tea, there's so many of them. I love it because first of all, it's quenching, but also when you get some of these herbal teas, they smell good, they taste good, and it's just like this comforting process, comforting, something good to focus on. Like, when people smoke, they say, oh, it's just something for me to focus on in the moment, or it helps me like take a break. Same thing with the tea, right? It helps my mind to focus on something that's pleasant and that for me, and kind of like recenters me. That is if I remember to drink it. Like I try to drink it in between putting all the kids to bed. And then if I don't drink it warm, I drink it later cold, which feels like an amazing like cold juice with a good flavor. So I love it. Okay, number 14, do something nice, but like something unnecessary for someone else. So this one again for me has to be done after you've done all these other things. Like this was like the last thing on my list. By the time I've done all these comforting things, and I've done all my like essential jobs, then I have the capacity usually to do something for someone else. And that feels so, so, so good, because then you've done something for someone else and it's extra, it's unnecessary. And then you feel so generous, you feel so abundant. And so that's a sign that you are moving up and feeling better, right? So don't rush into that, obviously, the first couple times when you're getting out of struggling, but do notice, right? Sometimes if you do it, you're like, oh, I'm feeling better if I actually have the capacity to do that. Just, it can be something like making an extra nice snack for the kids after school, instead of just grabbing a couple of cheese bites or cheese strings or whatever, right? So, or it could be like straightening out the walkway where like my husband comes in. I could think of him. I'm like, oh, if he arrives, it would be nice for him. Or bringing some soup for my friend. I know she likes soup, and if I made soup, or maybe I'll pack a little thing for her and give it to her. Like her and I do that. It's so cute. Sometimes share food that we've made, which feels really caring. Like it's, your mom usually gives you food, right? So if me and my friend do that for each other, it feels really extra and it feels unnecessary, but also super nice, right? So anything, like it could be anything, even just a text, or even it could be something extra for yourself. Like I'm going to set up, load my coffee for tomorrow morning right now at 3 p.m. because I know I'm going to love it tomorrow morning. And I know I'm going to love it tonight when I don't have to do that. It's just something extra, anything, just even for yourself. It feels really good. The last one I wrote down is I think that's a big one. Give yourself permission to not be a good mom today if you're struggling. I mean, that's a good one actually when you're not struggling too. And that's a good reminder. And by good, I mean perfect. Because when we want to be good, we pull out this agenda of what a good mom should do. And there's like a gazillion things we think we should do as a good mom, and they're all are perfect and unrealistic. And sometimes all the time, I don't want to be with my kids all the time. And that is really hard to admit at first, until you have time to process it and realize it's okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad mom. It just means that you're human. You just need to take care of yourself, and you don't need to be with them all the time. You don't need to give all of yourself to them all the time. So whatever that means for you, if that means not a perfect dinner, or not cooking dinner, or being late to pick them up, whatever it means that day, whatever way of imperfect you're being, how can you give yourself permission to not be perfect? Because just saying that might not work for you, might not actually do it for you. So find a way that creates that permission for you. Like for me, to say to myself, I give myself permission to not be a good mom, doesn't work. I have to tell myself it's okay that I want to do a short bedtime. I have to be more specific. I have to say it's okay that I sometimes don't want them to touch me. It's okay that sometimes I get angry. It's okay that I don't want to make breakfasts or whatever. So I get more specific and I say, it's okay that I feel this way. And then when I say that, I remember, okay, you know what? I will want to do that another time, and it's okay. So I don't have to be perfect all the time, because I sometimes do it, sometimes I don't. So that's the end of my list. I hope I'm sure it's going to be helpful to some of you. If you have any other things that you want to add, I would love to know what works for you. And I hope that you do pay attention to when you are struggling, but also, so paying attention when you're struggling, then what will happen is you're going to start paying attention to what you do when you're struggling, and you're actually going to find out what things that you already do to make yourself feel better. Because I'm sure you already have all these things in place that you do that are soothing. And so then once you pay attention, then you can be a lot more deliberate in doing them. And then you can just get into this self-care rhythm where you remember them sooner, and you are just a lot more attentive, and you take care of yourself because you are paying attention. As opposed to, how we just get so caught up and get busy doing things, and only a few days later, you're like, oh, I've needed this attention for the last week, and I've been over drinking or overeating because I have not been paying attention to myself. Oh, so that's why I was doing all those things, because I haven't been paying attention. So now that you have this list, I am really hoping that you are struggling, but also supporting yourself with struggle. And of course, this is why I'm always here. I would love to support you in any struggle, especially with relationships, because if you're struggling whatever personal level, it will affect how you're showing up with your people all the time. I mean, I see it in my life, and if it's affecting my relationships, I know it's affecting yours. So that's why I love to offer coaching. I love to help people because it feels so, so good. So I invite you, you should definitely come get coached. It's about time. You need to sign up, try it out. And then after you try it out, then you can decide how it works for you. I guess I'm just like talking to my kids again when they don't want to try the food, right? We actually do that at the house. We say, try the food first and then you give me a review. So guys, come try out the coaching, get coached, then you can give me a review. Tell me what you think. Listen to me. This is going to be so, so, so helpful. It's going to feel like an amazing reset button in your life. You're not going to feel stuck anymore. You're going to feel like there's nothing wrong with you. You don't have to be ashamed. And in fact, you're going to feel so empowered to start making decisions in your life that are going to feel amazing. So go sign up, www.coachingnatalia.com, and go to sign up for a free mini session, pick the time that you want, or email me, Natalia@coachingnatalia.com, and I would love to talk to you, help you, and help you more. Okay, so have a great week. I love you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.